Alright, what do we have here? Phil Baroni and some Japanese guy. I never liked the Phil Baroni guy. He's no martial artist. He's just a big brute. Kind of strong. Yeah, he lift weight and he got the big muscular body. And he thinks he's a tough guy. He can fight. That's about it. in, in terms of martial arts, yeah, he knows a little bit of wrestling. Of course, without knowing wrestling much, then you can't do MMA. But his wrestling is not that great too. But this Japanese fighter, I have no idea who he is, what he's good at, and so on. I just know Phil Baroni, and Phil Baroni is just a big punk. But the Japanese guy also seemed to be in good shape because that's the weapon of Phil Baroni. He rely on his strength and his shape. Who knows that Phil Baroni used steroids? I don't know. I think he does. So let's see. Let's see what he has to offer. See, he's too jacked up, and he looks good, but he's slow. Look, his punch is so inaccurate, and he couldn't do anything. Now he's taken down. Phil Baroni taken down. You see, and now like, can he punch? No. He got nothing. So his strength is pretty much taken away. And so far, there's nothing he he hasn't been able to accomplish anything. And he's grounded. And Japanese guy is, put him in. Oh, okay, leg lock, leg lock. He's going for the leg lock. The Japanese fighter is going for the leg lock. Phil Baroni is in world of trouble. Like I said, I'm not a fan of Phil Baroni. Like, I heard about him, like he became a big deal in UFC and this and that. I just knew a little bit about him, but I took a quick glances at how he fights, and I just frown and I just felt disappointment and disgust about this guy, Phil Baroni. Okay, here we go. Wakikadami. I think this is Wakikadami. The other one was Urikadami. Of course, Phil Baroni is very strong. He lifts weights and that's his strength. He thinks like he can fight well because he's a bodybuilder. He lifts weights. In the beginning, yeah, they're strong. Like when the Japanese guy get a hold of his hand, like it's not gonna budge because they have a lot of strength to defend. But if you keep on trying, eventually, uh, they don't have the strength anymore. They don't have the energy to defend. So that, here we go again. Now, the Urigadami, yeah, he might get it. The Japanese guy might get it. Like, Phil Baroni may be a strong punk ass, but he's not that strong. He's not strong to be immune from the Urigadami hold. He is in trouble, trust me. But Japanese guy cannot have his leg come up. If his leg come higher and crosses Phil Baroni's shoulder, or come over and control his head, Phil Baroni is done. But now he's in good shape because his head is up. So when you are in that Wakikadami lock, when your head is up like that, you have the advantage. The guy who's holding that lock cannot have the leverage to finish it up. So he's smart that he's leaning on the low rope like that, and he's trying to slide his leg back in. But he can't stay there forever like that because even though the other guy cannot finish the hole. He is spending a lot of energies defending, and he's not accomplishing anything. And now the Japanese fighter has better room, more room, and that leg might sneak up and grab Phil Baroni's head, and it might be done. If his head comes down from the rope, goes to the floor, the Phil Baroni is in big trouble. He is in trouble, basically. He is losing this fight. So what the other fighter had to do is mix up with some striking. Yeah, like, he can't just be going for the head-on luck like that. He got to mix up a little bit of strike here and there to go to the position, to get to the position that he wants. Yeah, like that. Go for the rib or something. Yeah, punch the body. He he can strike the body instead of the leg. Well, what's happening? Is he tapping? Did he tap? Oh, they're gonna restart. Now Phil is in big trouble. Baroni is in big trouble. He doesn't have the rope to help him stay with his head up. That's a bullshit punch. Nothing's gonna do with a punch. So what's helping him now? Uh-oh, now he's in trouble. He is in trouble. The Japanese fighter probably knows that Phil Baroni is so strong, so he's not really going for the finishing. He's just like draining his energy and keep him defended, because this is the beginning of the fight. The first round, and not much energy spent on the feet, and they get to the grounded position. So if you are experienced wrestler, you know this right away. Because I did a lot of grappling, and I know, and no matter how good you are with all these submission moves, right? Even if you take on a guy who don't have much experience, but if the guy is really so strong, there's nothing you can do to apply to any of these submissions, but just have to wait and wear out the other guy. And only when the guy starts to wear out, then you can apply your submission moves. That's pretty much the principle. Especially if you're not mixing up with the strikes. The Japanese fighter should be using the elbows to the body, use a little bit of strikes, but he's going too much into these forceful grappling submissions. And that's kind of not very smart. He's using much more energy. Like using a big brute force. He's using a brute force to accomplish what he wants to do, and it's too obvious. Oh, now Phil is in better position. Not really. Just when I was saying like, oh, Phil actually got a guard, the Japanese fighter can easily gets out, and but Japanese fighter don't have enough to really threaten Phil. Not yet. But he might get it eventually, because this is only the first round. And look how much trouble the Phil Baroni is in already. And it might go again if this fight goes to second round. And when the fighters are worn out, the energies are settling down, then the techniques play better role than the deciding factors are gonna come in. So if Phil Barone really good at wrestling, he can get out easily. He can just kick his body. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. That he should have done that. He did it. He did it. So, that's the wrestler trick. Like you just kick your bodies out and then boom, flip, push the guy over your shoulder and you're out. So, well, at least Phil did something right. Now his turn. Let's see what he's gonna do. See what I meant? Phil cannot strike. Even though he got these big muscles and he looks strong, but his strikes are weak. Because his muscles are not meant for that, for striking. His muscles are too tight and they pulling each other up. And the more he try to strike, the more tired that he becomes. Because the body that he has that's not the striker's muscles. That's this dumb bodybuilder body that he has. That's not a fighter's body. Alright, one more round left. So the Japanese guy won the first round. And Phil produced a little beautiful escape. That was about it. In terms of what kind of damage could he do to the other guy, he couldn't do anything much. It was all the other guy attacking him. But you know that Japanese fighter also is not perfect. The mistakes that he's doing, he's not striking. He is going head on for the obvious moves without trying something else because yeah, Phil Baroni may not be a phenomenon uh, martial artist, but of course he trained for these things. And he knows, everybody knows the at least the urigirami and wakigirami, these locks. Like principle how to get out of them, this and that. If you are completely ignorant of these things, then you should not even be in the ring doing MMA fights. And look how easily the Japanese fighter took him down there. That was just cheesy takedown, and how easy that he could get Phil Baroni. Well, I think I already got the result. It's gonna go to judges, and the Japanese guy gonna win by ground and pound. The Japanese guy definitely don't have the ability to really hurt Phil Baroni by striking, ground and pound, or also does not have the ability to submit. But he has the ability to dominate. He's just gonna be dominating like that until the time runs out, and he's gonna win the fight by decision pretty much. Here we go again. Urigadami. Now he put that in transition, try to go for armbar, but he missed it. Now he's in trouble. When you miss the transition from Urigadami to Jujigadami, which is armbar, and when you missed it, you end up on the bottom like that, and you pay the price. But he's up. And what can Phil do? Nothing really. Yeah, this turns out to be a boring grappling match. Both these guys are just big muscle guys, and they don't have impact in the strikes. They have no techniques in strike. Like when you talk about striking techniques, trust me, they are very uh, subtle techniques in strike, like how you breathe and how you use little muscle mechanics here and there and body mechanics and so on. And they don't know. You have to be really well trained by some good teacher in order to really understand, to produce the effect, the impact, and the power in a strike. The power does not come from those muscles. Or because you're strong with these muscles, it doesn't mean like you can hurt somebody by punching or kicking or whatever. You can sit up and start punching. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 oh. Wow, so Phil does have the strength. You see, that's definitely is the strength, or the sloppiness, the impatience of the armbar execution, because he went too fast. But to give credit to Phil, because he's strong, that's why he was able to escape. Because when the guy get a hold of that arm, should stay there and drain off the energy by striking, punching. Like for example, Hickson, right? When Hickson gets his opponent on the bottom, oh, he takes his time just torturing his opponent, like striking, and only when he's sure, like when he feels the weakness in the body, like they can sense it. The grappler can sense it. And then he goes for armbar or choke or something. So that's what the Japanese guy didn't do. The mistake they didn't do, he didn't wait long enough. He was too impatient. Yeah, right there. It's too impatient. And the Phil is very strong. Remember what I said from the first round. When you're grappling a very strong guy, even if the guy is beginner, the Japanese gonna win. The strength plays a big part in grappling. Alright. See you in the next fight.